Hey y'all, we are gearing up for a very busy next 2 weeks. Tomorrow, I am going to head down to Irwin and meet up with Caroline, Troy, and Justin. And we are going to kind of go over new material because we are going into the studio starting April the 6th. And so it's an exciting time, always so much fun cutting a new record. And so I am prepping dinner for tomorrow night. This is one of the band's favorite dishes. It's called the burritos. That's what we've called it now. And so I thought I would share with you the recipe and kind of what I do to put it together. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. So there's two parts to this recipe. There's the burrito itself and then the sauce. And really the big star of the show is the sauce. But so I have 4-ish, I would say 4.5 cut up. I roasted these this morning and I seasoned them with garlic powder, onion powder, the blend by Kinder's, and then smoked paprika and chili powder. Seasoned my chicken, roasted it off, and cut it up. Then I also at the same time I cooked a whole package of the yellow rice. So it was the one that needed like 5.5 cups of water. So it is the full bag of yellow rice. And I used my Instapot and do my rice cooker there, so it is a little sticky. So it makes it easier to put the burritos together. And then this component has 3 cans of beans. Now I've doubled this recipe from the recipe in the book because I'm gonna make a pan for the band and then a pan for the house, because if I make these for the band and I don't make them for the house will be in revolt. So I use 2 cans of the Bush's chili beans with sauce, and then I use 1 can of kidney beans with the sauce, and I just dump this all in and mix it all up, and that's your burrito filling. I also use 1 whole bag of Monterey Jack cheese and about half a bag of the pepper jack cheese. So all of this goes in the burrito filling mixture. And I recommend wearing an apron because this gets messy. Okay, so I've got the burrito filling all mixed up and it's a lot. So now I'm gonna work on making the sauce. So what I do with cilantro, instead of peeling off every leaf, because it gets everywhere anyway, I just cut the base of the stems off and put this directly into the blender because this is all gonna get blended up anyway. This is my second blender that I've had to buy in the last 2 years. I guess I'm making too much sauce. Anyway, so 2 full bunches of cilantro. This is a double batch. So if you're just doing one, obviously split it in half. I buy 2 containers of the salsa verde salsa, and I only I'll use this whole one now, and then I'll have this for extra. My taste tester's not here today, so Ethan's missing out. So I guess I'm gonna have to taste test it myself until I get it right. But you're gonna use 2 bunches of cilantro, a full container of the salsa verde, and then I usually to taste. So again, there are measurements on the recipe, but I don't really follow them. I just dump to my little heart's content. So, I think it calls for, what does this call for? It calls for 1/3 cup of mayonnaise for half. So it'd be 2/3 cup mayonnaise, but I know I'm gonna end up with more than that. I'm just gonna dump that in, and then about another half cup of sour cream, which again, that would be a full cup, again, to taste. So I'm just gonna be dumping this stuff in here. And then 1 whole package of ranch seasoning. So if you buy it in bulk, it's 3 tablespoons. So I'm gonna add probably 5 tablespoons to this because I don't want it to be too salty. And then again, to your heart's content, I usually do 2 heaping tablespoons of minced garlic for this, and for a double batch. This is where I messed up today. So when I went to the store yesterday, forgot to buy limes. Well, we live a good ways from the grocery store up here on the mountain, so we're gonna do this with lemons. And I know it's probably not gonna taste the same. I'm gonna do the best I can because I'm not going to the store today. And then I always add a little more garlic powder and Kinder seasoning. Kinder's, this is the best stuff ever. I add that to it as I blend. So I'm gonna get this all mixed up because I know you don't want to listen to the blender going, and then we'll wrap burritos. Okay, so we got the sauce made. I tasted it myself. Don't know if it's going to be Ethan approved, but tastes right to me. So this is literally how much sauce that I made. And so generally I make this and I pour it after I do the burritos, and I'll show you that in a minute. But after I do the burritos, I usually take a whole container of this with it for extra because everybody likes to dip in it. Again, this is the star of the show. Not really about the burritos, but anyways, I wiped off my countertop, of course, got it all cleaned up. I don't have enough room to have the cutting board over here to do this, and it works better on the countertop. So I've already sprayed my baking dishes with non-stick spray, and we're just gonna wrap burritos, and we're gonna talk about studio time. So when we started recording with Mountain Fever back in 2016 when we started our first project with Mountain Fever, we came up and we had already, as a band, we'd already worked up all the tunes, and you know, it worked well. That Deepwater album was very successful and did exactly what it needed to do, and was sure proud of it, and still have, you know, music playing from it. But in the next couple records, we took that same approach. We had these big pre-productions, and the band would get together, and then we would, you know, we'd go over everything. We would arrange stuff. I'd pick the songs, and we'd have it all keyed out and everything. And then we go in the studio, and of course things change, but we pretty much had everything ready before we got there. But this last record, Restless Soul, Aaron Ramsey, our producer, he wanted to kind of do a little bit different take on the production. So he wanted to do the arrangements and everything on the fly, which, as somebody that's got pretty bad OCD, kind of freaked me out. You know, I was a little bit worried about the process of, you know, cutting a record without having everything ready beforehand. But it worked. This band is very intuitive, and I think we work better off one another in those situations than we do just, you know, individually, you know, practicing some material without each other. So we're gonna do that again for this new record, and I'm gonna go down and spend a day with Caroline and Troy and Justin, and just to make sure and solidify which songs that I've selected. We want to make sure everybody's on board, you know. And then we're gonna go in the studio, and you know, our studio time, you know, is just so much fun. You know, and we do ours in like a retreat style. So we go and we stay at Mountain Fever. Here at Mountain Fever, we have a home that we have set up for the bands to stay in. And so we completely disconnect from the world for 5 to 6 days, and we just make music. We just make a record together. We eat together, you know, we wake up, we have coffee together, and it's just a really good experience. And of course, I've got a group of people that I love to the ends of the earth, and one of the ways that I show them how much I love them is by doing things like this. I love to cook for people. I love to see people happy, and so this is one of the things that I do for them, and I know they appreciate it. So I've got one more burrito for this pan. I'm actually gonna make 16 of these. So I'm gonna be leaving 8 here at the house, and taking 8 to the studio, which it's a full pan. I'll show you in just a second. The other thing about these, they are really good to sit. So I feel like the longer these sit in the refrigerator, you know, a couple days, you know, usually, you know, I fix them the day before and then we eat them, you know, that first day that we're there or whatever, because I can't wait to get into them. But they do really well just sitting. So here's the full pan of 8. Didn't quite fit in there, but what you do is just take and pour your sauce over the top of this, and just go ahead and pour your sauce over the top of this, and then this kind of settles into the tortillas. And then you take the rest of your cheese, which I will use a whole bag on this one. And I'm just gonna have to dig other cheese out for the house. Ethan's might have to have like other cheese on it. But I use a whole bag of Monterey Jack and then a half a bag of the pepper jack. And then when we get there and we're ready to eat, then I will throw this in the oven. Usually I bake it for 30 minutes. Let me read my recipe. 350 for 15 to 20 minutes, you know, but you just really want them to heat through and you want the cheese to melt. So that's pretty much it. Like that's the burritos, and really excited about the year and really looking forward to bringing everybody new music, and can't wait to see y'all out on the road. So check back in. If everybody likes this and this is kind of a thing that y'all enjoy, I'd be happy to do it again because I cook every day. See y'all later. Have a great day.